There's your evidence, Lieutenant. That's what Peter Parker said.
All right, fish that man out of the water and get that guy out of the boat. Looks like your man called it this time.
Yes, it looks as though he did.
Boy, am I glad to see you, Lieutenant. Some lunatic threw me in the boat.
Lieutenant?
Book him.
Where's Peter Parker? If those men did anything to him...
Did you get the evidence?
Yes, we got the evidence, all right. And those men are getting prison sentences. And I see the registers getting pictures of all this. What's the Bugle getting?
I guess I got here a little too late to take it.
No, Peter, you have half the pictures I have. I wouldn't have any if it weren't for you.
Well, that leaves me with nothing to complain about. Come on, I'll drive you back to town.
No, I've got my car. I'll take Julie.
Is one of America's most loved stars.
It seems so hard to bear.
He has one of the world's most heart-touching voices.
How I long to always.
And now you can own Dean Martin's most heart-touching recordings of all.
I cry for you.
The recordings that touch you more than any others.
I'll hold you in my heart till I can hold you in
The songs that stir beautiful memories.
in the misty moonlight by the flickering firelight.
Every song's a favorite. But you also get another album with Dean's most famous love songs. Love songs ever written.
Return to me,
Recordings of irresistible beauty.
for my heart wants you only.
You'll love every one of the famous love songs. And how you'll enjoy all the heart-touching favorites. You get both Dean Martin treasuries. They're not sold in stores. Order now.
Use your MasterCard Visa, Diners Club, or American Express. Call toll-free 1-800-453-5700. 1-800-453-5700. You get 2 records, 2 cassettes, or 2 8-track tapes. To save handling and COD charges, send only $12.98 to Dean Martin, Box 7598, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89125. Or call 1-800-453-5700.
Nicholas Hammond star today in Photo Finish. Stay tuned now for the Fresno State Bulldogs as they battle the Runnin' Rebels from Nevada, Las Vegas. Live from Selland Arena.
PC2A Basketball is brought to you in part by True Value Hardware and by Coors Light. So turn it loose with the silver bullet tonight.
This is PCAA Basketball. From Selland Arena in Fresno, California, we welcome you to today's TV Game of the Week. The University of Nevada, Las Vegas Running Rebels against the Bulldogs of Fresno State. Welcome to Stellan Arena, the home of the Fresno State Bulldogs. A place that used to hold 6,600. It has been newly enlarged, now has a seating capacity of over 10,000. And the Red Wave definitely in force here today as Fresno State battles one of their key rivals in the PCAA, UNLV. Shortly, just a few seconds ago, the Fresno State team went all around the floor and the fans applauding, so the fans are as pumped up as the basketball players. Hello, everybody. This is Mike Walden along with Lynn Shackelford. And one thing is sure right from the outset, we'll see lots and lots of red today.
I don't think you can overemphasize what the crowd can do to help Fresno State and how they might rattle the visiting UNLV Rebels.
It'll be interesting to see if they can rattle Richie Adams because he is the key man for UNLV. The PCAA Player of the Year last season, having another great year in 1985.
Well, as the big man inside, if he comes out and asserts himself on defense and blocks a few shots and then scores underneath, that'll help settle his teammates down. He's having a good year, and I think a lot of people are overlooking that.
A surprise starter today for Fresno State. His first start, Fred Emerson, a 6'8", 210-pound junior from Lexington, Kentucky.
Perhaps a little gamble on the part of Fresno State. He's only played 38 minutes all year long, but he's a big guy, so he can match up against the Rebels, and he's an enthusiastic player. They love him here.
This could be another milestone for Jerry Tarkanian. A victory today would be Tarkanian's 400th, and that would be as a major college coach over 17 seasons.
This team has gone just the way he predicted it would, that it has improved as the season has progressive, and he's done a fine job of bringing them along.
And so has Boyd Grant done a fine job at Fresno State. They call this place Grant's Tomb. Under Grant's guidance, the Bulldogs have won 97 and lost only 12 here.
This is perfect week. They lost to Fullerton, so he had the attention of his players all week long, and believe me, he got to prepare them for this big game. That's what he likes to do in coaching.
Thus, we have the #1 team in the PCAA, UNLV, versus the #2 team, Fresno State, and the fireworks are about to begin. We'll have the starting lineup for you in just a few seconds.
Get the most out of your hard-earned dollars by saving on the quality products you'll find in the Dollar Dazzlers circular from True Value Hardware stores. For just $3, you can get this Master Electrician automatic closet light or a Taylor indoor thermometer with humidity gauge. This Acro Welcome doormat is made of durable rubber, and a Rubbermaid Space Maker shelf is also just $3 in the Dollar Dazzler circular from participating True Value Hardware stores and home centers. We apologize for some of you along the Cats TV network about the picture, trying to get that problem cleared up. I know it's okay in some areas, and some areas it's not, but we'll try to have it for you, working on the problem right now. But right now, it's time for the introduction of the starting players, and for that, we go to the public address announcer at Stellan Arena, Brent DeMonte.
Go. And now, ladies and gentlemen, may we introduce the starting lineups for this afternoon's game. First, for UN Las Vegas, starting at forward, 6'8", number 25, Spoon James. For Fresno State, starting at forward, 6'8", number 44, Scott Barnes. The other forward for the Rebels, 6'8", number 35, Armin Gilliam. The other forward for Fresno State, 6'8", number 55, Jos Kuipers. At center for the Rebels, 6'9", number 31, Richie Adams. At center for the Bulldogs, 6'8", number 33, Fred Emerson. Starting at guard for UNLV, 6'6", number 11, Anthony Jones. At guard for Fresno State, 6 feet even, number 3, Ron Strain. The other guard for the Rebels, 6'2", number 13, Freddie Banks. And the other guard for Fresno State, 6'4", number 42, Mitch Arnold. The coaches for this afternoon's game, for UNLV, Jerry Tarkanian, and for Fresno State, Coach Boyd Grant.
We apologize again for the lack of the picture of today's game in some areas. We hope that you will bear with us. We're trying to rectify it just as soon as possible. We're all set for the tip-off. We'll have that for you right after these messages.
Working hard doesn't have to mean perspiration odor. Give it all you've got. Right Guard Spray can help keep you smelling good for up to 24 hours. That's protection.
You work hard to meet Right Guard.
It's become one of the sporting events on the West Coast. Last year, it played before near sellout crowds 3 straight nights at the Forum in Inglewood, California. This year, the PCAA basketball tournament will raise the roof at the Forum on March 7th, 8th, and 9th. Come witness firsthand the excitement as the PCAA's top 8 teams battle for a trip to the NCAA tournament. Mail order season ticket applications are available now by calling 714-261-2525. Don't miss the action. The referee today will be Chuck Camuso from Sunnyvale, California, and the umpires Al Hackney from Westminster, California, Clarence Hammond from Santa Clara. UNLV 18-2, 11-0 in the league. Fresno State 13-6, 8-2 in second place in the PCAA. And the Rebels will bring it up. Freddie Banks. He's picked up right away by Ron Strain. Spoon James. The crowd on its feet, yelling, and they'll stay that way until their team scores. 2-0 on the bucket by Spoon James.
That's what Las Vegas needs to do, is be very cool out there, get off to a good start, take some good shots, settle the crowd down a little bit, and settle themselves down. If not, they could be in for a long afternoon.
A year ago, UNLV lost to Fresno State 68-43, 43 points, the lowest point total ever for a Tarkanian team. But in that game, Fresno got off to a great start, leading 8-0 at one stage. Never behind, and Fresno State went on to win it easily. Banks is on Strain. Knocked away. Mitch Arnold is there to retrieve it.
Down to 7 on the shot clock.
Pipers, let's fly. A three-pointer by Yost Pipers.
You've got 2 lines out there on the court. It's the red one, or the closest one. That's what we're playing, is the three-point basket. 19-9 away.
Pass underneath to Richie Adams. Out of bounds, Fresno. The Rebels tried to pound it inside. Couldn't hold on. Fresno State will bring it up.
Kuipers, by the way, now is 7 for 9 from the three-point range on the year. So look for some more of that, perhaps.
Last time we saw Fresno State, he punctured the lights out of Utah State in Logan, hitting 4 straight three-pointers to pull the Bulldogs from the brink of defeat to a 1-point victory.
One of the keys here is this tough man-to-man that UNLV plays. They've got to get on him and play it real tough all afternoon.
Adams takes the rebound down to Anthony Jones. 4-3 Vegas. Mitch Arnold to... That's kicked inadvertently by Richie Adams. It'll be out of bounds to Mitch Arnold. In the first meeting of these two teams in Las Vegas about 3-4 weeks ago, the Redmond Rebels were the victors 70-58. That'll be out of bounds to Nevada, Las Vegas. Again, we apologize for the lack of picture in some areas on our network. We're trying our best to solve the problem so that you'll be able to see this game. It's okay, I understand, in some of the other cities, but we just hope you'll bear with us. Gilliam has it blocked by Scott Barnes. Foul will be on Armin Gilliam.
Crowd loves it, of course. There will be no free throws for Fresno State, but they love anything that goes against UNLV. Barnes makes a good block. He is a good shot blocker, and then Gilliam fouls him when Barnes gets a hold of the ball. Now, UNLV does, I think, a pretty smart thing. They put a little backcourt pressure on Fresno State. They've got the defensive guards that they can do that and harass the Fresno State players and maybe take them out of their offense.
Emerson along the baseline. Stepped over the line, so it'll be out of bounds to the Rebels.
Now again, a big risk. He's only played 38 minutes the whole year. Fred Emerson comes in the starting lineup, maybe their biggest game of the year right here, and there's a lot of pressure on him, and I think I'm not sure that he's ready to respond to that just yet.
This is the 20th game of the year for Fresno State, and Emerson has been in only 9 of them. His first start today. Gilliam, partially deflected by Scott Barnes, comes right back over to Gilliam, and he scores. The Rebels just pounding it inside, leading now 6-3.
Fresno State, aside from that shot by Kuipers to beat the shot clock, really hasn't been unable to do anything offensively.
Kuipers on a 2-point attempt, tapped back by Mitch Arnold to Ron Strain. Scott Barnes.
That'll be important if Barnes can hit that. Remember, with Emerson starting, Scott Barnes is at a forward, so he might get some more opportunity to shoot from the outside. That was about a 10-footer.
Inside it goes in the variation of the alley-oop to Anthony Jones. And a foul's going to be called on Jones pushing off.
Well, the alley-oop was to Jones. He grabbed the rim.
That's the second foul against the Rebels, the first against Anthony Jones.
And you're right, Mike. He went up and tried to dunk it through, but they called a foul on him.
6-5 UNLV lead in the early going. We've played almost 4 minutes from Sellen. Strain doesn't shoot much. Going to try that one off the glass. Barnes puts it up. He does. Yes, he got it. It started to come off, then rattle back inside. 7-6 Fresno State. Freddie Banks passes to Jones. And Kuipers has it for Fresno. A 7-6 Fresno State lead. There's Barnes underneath. And foul whistle against Richie Adams. And Richie upset over that call. Meanwhile, the red wave at Fresno, they love it.
They do love it. Now, notice all of a sudden Fresno State's able to get the ball inside. Barnes goes up and gets fouled inside. They played the first 2 minutes. Las Vegas did great defense. Now they're starting to let up a little bit. I think Jerry Tarkanian will look to his bench if they continue to let up. For Las Vegas to win this game today, they've got to play with some intensity out there on defense, and they just started to loosen up a little.
Barnes is a 68% free throw shooter, but he's been much better than that in PCAA play. He is 77% in the conference. 8-6 lead, Fresno State. Barnes squats low and pops that one in. 3-point lead now for Fresno State. We get our first timeout, and the folks here in Fresno on their feet applauding. The Bulldogs lead by 3 with 4.5 minutes played here in the first half.
If you're an investor, here's an important telephone number from Charles Schwab and an important message. I built this software business my way, and I make investment decisions my way. I won't pay a broker high commissions for advice I don't need. My broker is Charles Schwab, the #1 discount broker. With Schwab, I can save up to 76% on commissions compared to what full commission brokers charge. And I get services that count, like instant order execution. I call toll-free, place my order. It goes right into the computer. In seconds, it's at an exchange. Often my order is confirmed while I'm still on the phone. With Schwab, the savings are big, and the trades are computer fast. I like that.
I'm Charles Schwab. You'll like our low commissions, our convenience, and our quality service. That's a promise.
For a free booklet telling what Schwab Discount Brokerage can do for you, call 800-445-7500 toll-free. That's 800-445-7500. Charles Schwab, a Bank America company. Member SIPC.
Fresno State always prides itself on its patience in defense. The #2 team of the nation on defense, and the #1 team is Princeton, 1 percentage point, 1/10 of a percentage point better.
And of course, you've got UNLV under Jerry Tarkanian. He likes to run, and they've done it with a great deal of success this year. They're 7th offensively.
A 9-6 lead for Fresno State.
Now we got a change in defense, a little matchup zone, and they make the steal.
And Spoon James and Kuiper started to get into it. Some elbows were flying out of bounds, Fresno.
Yeah, but I think James was more upset with the call than he was at Kuiper's. That was a good, smart call coming out of that timeout. They changed their defense and threw UNLV off.
Emerson looking in for Barnes. Barnes from outside. Chased down by Gilliam, who taps it over to Spoon James. Fresno State 9, UNLV 6. Jones from the side. Scott Barnes with another rebound. Barnes off to a great start. He has 6 points so far, and he's boarding well.
Seems to like that forward position.
Arnold underneath. Emerson blows the lay-in. And it's taken off by Gilliam. Here comes Freddie Banks. Banks passes underneath to Richie Adams. And what have we got? We've got a foul on Ron Strain.
That was a good pass, by the way, by Freddie Banks. This will be important for UNLV today, for Banks to assert himself as a team leader out there. He makes a nice little pass off to Adams. Actually, Adams wasn't ready. Had he been ready, he could have thrown it in for a quick dunk before the foul was called.
A 9-6 Fresno State lead. It's knocked away from Barnes. Loose ball goes out of bounds. It'll be out of bounds, Fresno State. Jones touched it last. Well, the Bulldogs are getting some breaks early. A 9-6 lead for Boyd Grant's team. Fresno State is 97-12 here in Sullen Arena. That's a winning percentage of 89. Emerson working out in front now, posted low, Kuipers. Scott Barnes along the baseline, rejected by Gilliam. The fans yelling goaltending, no call. Freddie Banks stops right at the top of the circle for a three-point attempt. Touched last by Mitch Arnold, out of bounds to the Rebels. Jerry Tarkanian, a graduate of Fresno State.
Yeah, he still has relatives in this area. He's from this area.
Anthony Jones out to Banks. Spoon James. There's Richie Adams. Deflected by Emerson. Barnes has it. Strain in the middle. Kuipers will pull up. No good. Chased down by Mitch Arnold. Still a 9-6 lead for Fresno. We have 13 minutes left in this half. Mitch Arnold fires from outside. Short follow-up. Kuipers.
Well, I don't know if it was intentional or not. Richie Adams was on Mitch Arnold, so he wasn't underneath, and that's why Kuipers, when he got the rebound, threw it in without being contested.
And it goes to Richie Adams. Another rebound for Scott Barnes. Barnes has 5 rebounds to go with his 6 points. Strain in along the lane.
Barnes. Here comes Strain. He's got it.
They've got to call timeout. That's what I was talking about.
Timeout. The University of Nevada, Las Vegas. And it's a 15-6 lead. Fresno State with 12 minutes and 16 seconds left in the first half.
Sodium can turn up where you least expect it, even in your antacid tablet. Looking for an antacid without sodium? Tums is sodium-free, and it also neutralizes 1/3 more stomach acid than the other leading brand. Tums lets you do without the heartburn and without all that sodium. And for liquid strength in a tablet, Tums EX.
Folks, if it's time for a new TV, video recorder, or appliance, then come on into the Superstore. We're turning prices upside down during the year-end clearance. Hi, Ed Cutler Jr. here. I've got this Sony video recorder with wireless remote control, 6 events, 7-day programming, and front-loading design at an incredible $398. We're turning prices upside down so that you can come out on top with the very best prices in the Valley at the Superstore, Blackstone and Shaw.
Hello again, everybody. Mike Walden and Lynn Shackelford from Selland Arena in Fresno. We understand our picture problems have been cleared, and everybody along the network is now getting this game. 10 straight points by Fresno State has upped them to a 15-6 lead over UNLV. The Rebels led 6-5, and the Bulldogs have rattled off 10 unanswered points. Ed Catchings is in now for UNLV. Jones over to Richie Adams. Pipers with 7 points and Barnes with 6. The leaders for Fresno State. Ed Catchings has really helped this UNLV team in the last couple of weeks. His game has improved considerably.
Hey, I'm happy to see it because he's a senior and he would look like he was tailing off his senior year, but now he's really come on strong. I think he's going to finish his career at UNLV in a fine fashion. Surprisingly to me, Fresno State's made a few substitutions. Boyd Grant has taken the opportunity in the lead to throw Salone and Gustin into the game very quickly. I'm sure it'll be for a brief time.
A spin fingertip roll by Freddie Banks. That ends the UNLV drought. The Bulldogs had scored 10 straight points. Brian Salone. Mark Gustin. In case you're just joining us, Fred Emerson made a surprise start for Fresno State. Gustin is in there now. He's got the ball, guarded by Anthony Jones. Brian Salone over to Yost Kuipers. He's good from that point. Indeed he is. 17-8. Kuipers has 9. And at the other end, the Rebels come back to counter.
I get the impression Anthony Jones would be cool if he played here every night in this enemy arena. He seems like a smart basketball player out there. That was a big basket. Really just took the crowd right out of it.
There's Brian Salone. Stripped of the ball, out of bounds, Fresno State. Scott Barnes will be back in, along with Daniel Means for Fresno. Ron Strain will come out, so will Mark Gustin. A 7-point lead for the Bulldogs, 17-10. We're nearing the midway point in the first half. UNLV with the longest winning streak in the nation, 17 in a row. Last time UNLV lost was on December the 8th. They were thrashed back in the East by Georgetown, 82-46. But since that time, nothing but wins for UNLV coming into this game. An 18-2 record, 11-0 in the conference, and the Rebels are ranked 11th and 12th in the 2 wire service polls.
Rare turnover by Mitch Arnold.
He turns it over on the average of about once every game, which is outstanding considering how much time he handles the ball.
It really is. 15 turnovers in 656 minutes of play.
Banks misses. Gilliam has the ball, puts it up, a little bit short, and we've got a foul underneath on Scott Barnes.
That's where Gilliam really hurt you, is that inside there. He gets a good offensive rebound, did a good job. Of course, Fresno State can ill afford to have Scott Barnes in foul trouble. Whoop.
Armin Gilliam will go to the line. 6'8" sophomore from Pittsburgh. Gilliam is a 62%er at the line. Score remains 17-10, Fresno State. Missed both of them. Barnes with another rebound. 6 rebounds for Scott Barnes to go with his 6 points. Daniel Means for Fresno. Checked there by Freddie Banks. Barnes to Yost Kuipers. Kuipers misses on the 18-footer. Jones loses the ball, retrieves it for UNLV. Look at Barnes, chested him all the way.
Yeah, Kuipers was lucky he didn't get called for a foul, too.
Anthony Jones will pull up and take it. Underneath, Gilliam. Now the running Rebels pull to within 5 at 17-12. The Rebels have scored 6 straight points. Means and Barnes into Yost Kuipers. He can't hold on. Out of bounds to UNLV. And Jones is protesting to one of the officials, Clarence Hammond, that one of the Fresno players using his elbow too much. Boyd Grant, 8th year here at Fresno State, and what success he has had. He's always predicated his team's abilities on defense. Catchings misses. Loose ball. Mitch Arnold has it. Fresno State has always been in the top 5 of the nation on defense. And ranking number 2 right now at 54.2. Yost Kuipers will get a rest, and Kenny Cook will replace him. Spoon James back in for UNLV. Armin Gilliam goes to the bench.
And also coming back in is Richie Adams, who was just given a quick rest. Kenny Cook, junior college transfer for Fresno State, comes in. Richie Adams, by the way, a little bit under the weather with the flu, and I think that's why Jerry Tarkanian gave him that quick rest here at the start.
There's Kenny Cook traveling on Cook.
That's what's hurting Fresno State, Mike. That's at least 3 turnovers here in the last minute and a half.
Turnovers, 5 for Fresno State, 5 for UNLV. Foul is against Brian Salone, holding Richard Robinson.
It's kind of interesting. UNLV has a very strong bench, and I can understand them substituting a lot. On the other hand, Fresno State, if they're to win this game, I think is going to have to do it with their top 6 or 7 players. However, Boyd Grant substituting freely here in the first half.
Adams puts it right in on the lob inbounds pass from Freddie Banks.
That's a perfect example. Salone was just sleeping there. Maybe one of your regular players wouldn't have been sleeping. That was an easy basket for UNLV. I think what Boyd Grant is thinking, he's got this big crowd, big game. He wants to get some of these other players a feel of the game in case he needs them in the second half.
Robinson rebounding for UNLV. Clears it up to Fred Banks. 17-14. Into Adams, they deny it. Salone tapped it away, but James is there to get it right back for UNLV. High pass to Freddie Banks. He can't hold on. The 6th turnover by UNLV. There's Keith Hughes, one of the assistants at Fresno State. The others, Ron Adams and Fred Litzenberger on Boyd Grant's staff. We'll get a timeout here at Selland Arena. 7:56 left, and it's a 3-point lead for Fresno State over UNLV.
I want it strong, but I want it good.
Introducing Marigore Bold from Taster's Choice. For those who like their coffee bold. Because it's made with the larger, more flavorful coffee beans like the giant Marigojipi bean. Bold, big, bold flavor. Because it's dark roasted for a superior, stronger gourmet choice. You Marigore Bold and Bold decaffeinated. Yeah. 2 bold new reasons why the choice for taste is Taster's Choice.
You wouldn't go to a Chinese restaurant for tacos. or to an Italian restaurant for egg rolls. So why go to a burger place for
chicken nuggets?
You should.
Golden nuggets.
At Kentucky Fried Chicken, we make our new Kentucky Nuggets like no burger place can, with the Colonel's secret blend of 11 herbs and spices. Now, don't you want your chicken nuggets from the chicken experts?
Golden nuggets.
Kentucky Nuggets.
We do chicken right.
That we call the sponsor of this afternoon's game.
Neither team is shooting very well. Both of them right at 39%. And they're both about 10 points better than that from the floor in previous games. Notice everything is identical. 7 for 18, 39%.
That is a little unusual, and yet Fresno State with maybe some more. Well, I think the turnovers are probably about even, too. It does have that 3-point lead.
Pipers with 9, Barnes with 6, Strain 2 for Fresno State. Anthony Jones, the leader for UNLV, with 4 points, and 5 players have 2.
As we watch Fresno State run their offense, remember Mitch Arnold hasn't been doing much scoring recently, but he's a good team player, and he does a lot of other things. And I don't think he's the kind of player that gets upset when he doesn't score, but it'd be a bonus if he could come back. He's been shooting 30% about the last 3 games.
Barnes goes for the baseline. It's knocked away. Touched last by Richie Adams. Out of bounds, Fresno State. Ed Catchings, number 20 for the Rebels, and 00 is Richard Robinson. Danny Tarkanian is here today, along with Bernard Thompson.
I don't understand that. They give him a whole new 45 seconds on the shot clock.
Mitch Arnold bombs away, can't get it to fall. Pipers tied up by Richie Adams. It'll be out of bounds on the alternate possession rule to Nevada, Las Vegas.
Except for that one little spurt where Fresno State scored 10 straight, I'm impressed with UNLV's defense. They're doing a good job.
The ball is brought up by Gary Graham. The Rebels going with Graham, Spoon James, Richie Adams, Ed Catchings, Richard Robinson. James from outside for a 3-point attempt. Picked up by Richie. That's about a 12-footer by Richie. Slapped back into play, and Graham has it. There goes Richie Adams again. Adams is having tough luck on his shots.
That went down pretty deep before it decided to come back out again.
It's still a 17-14 lead, Fresno State. Mitch Arnold is open. He's got it. Mitch Arnold, a 6'4" senior out of Illinois. A 19-14 lead for Fresno. Strain guarding Danny Graham. No one near Spoon James, so he'll let her fly. Mitch Arnold with the ball.
Spoon James missed that badly. Gonna have a backcourt
foul on Gary Graham. Actually, that was a foolish foul on Graham's part.
This is a tough shot. He was really wide open when he went up, and James, a good shooter, really missed it badly. Then you're going to see Graham. He just ran in there and started reaching in. That's when the official nabbed him.
4 team fouls against UNLV. Fresno State has committed 3. Mitch Arnold will inbound it to Scott Barnes. Back over to Mitch. Strain lays it off to Emerson.
They're going to take it away. Call it on Strain. I think that was a good acting job by the UNLV defensive player. Let's take a look at it. He plants himself. Yeah, Strain didn't stop and avoid him enough, but I'll tell you, he barely brushed against him.
So the score will remain 19-14. Team fouls are even at 4. Ed Catchings on the drive. Passes over to Gilliam.
Oh, that'll even it out.
Clarence Hammond made the call.
You're going to see, I think, a block. I don't think this player was set defensively when Catchings goes around. See, he's still moving. He's trying to get set, and Catchings plows into him. I thought it was a block, so it kind of evens out what went down at the other end.
Foul on Catchings. And Brian Salone checks in again for Fresno State. Scott Barnes will go out. Fresno State operating with Mitch Arnold, Brian Salone, Ron Strain, Yost Kuipers, and Fred Emerson. A 19-14 lead for the Bulldogs. No harm, no foul, although Jones went down on the seat of his britches.
You know, Kuipers is from Holland. That's a little rougher ball over there, so he's used to getting the guy away from him.
Tough shot from Mitch Arnold. And it's taken down by Barnes, and Barnes is hammered. Barnes has really been doing a job on the boards today. Jumping higher and better than I have seen him.
Kuipers is the guy that got fouled.
Well, I was talking about Barnes because of the job he's been doing today. He's really been boarding hard.
Right. Now, Kuipers goes up, and Anthony Jones, I know it makes a rough foul, but he did the right thing. He made sure he didn't score the basket. Hit him real hard.
6 fouls against UNLV. 4 called on Fresno State. We have 5 minutes and 15 seconds left in the half. Strange sees some daylight. Oh, off to Emerson. He can't hold on, but Mitch Arnold is there to save it for the Bulldogs. Anthony Jones, Freddie Banks, chased down by both Kuipers and Gilliam.
They're saying Kuiper stepped on the line. He almost made a great play, though. Freddie Banks makes a wild shot here. Good defensive player. Well, we're not going to see it, but Kuiper's almost made a great save, but he was on the line.
I was surprised that Banks didn't go in another step or two.
Yeah, I think he had bad judgment there. The defensive player may have outguessed him a little bit on that play.
Scott Barnes in, Emerson goes out, Daniel Means back in for Fresno State, and Ramon Trice comes in. So 3 changes now for Fresno State. 19-14, the Bulldogs.
Little zone or matchup zone, if you'd like, by UNLV. Seems like Ed Catchings hasn't got a good shot off. He's getting the ball so far away from the basket. I'd like to see him set up closer. I think they could get a good shot for him.
A 3-pointer by Freddie Banks, chased down by Daniel Means. Fresno with the ball and a 19-14 lead. Ramon Trice. Out to Brian Salone. It's a very, very passive pass. Here is Kuipers underneath. And once again, Fresno State has a 7-point lead. 11 of the 21 points scored by Yost Kuipers.
UNLV comes in averaging 88 points a game in conference play, and they've only got 14 here with just under 4 minutes to go in the first half. Just the way Fresno State likes it.
Jones misses from outside. Another rebound for Kuipers. To Daniel Means. Scott Barnes. Trice will try a shot from the side. Heartbreak, a tip, no good. Barnes has it. Knocked away from him, out of bounds, Fresno State. Timeout called here at Selland Arena. A crowd of over 10,000 sell out on their feet, applauding the play of the Bulldogs. And the Bulldogs have responded with a 21-14 lead over UNLV with 3.5 minutes left in this half.
It's pretty hard work, and you're working pretty steady, and you're trying to keep up and get the job done, and all of a sudden your stomach just starts growling. You want something to eat.
Satisfies you.
About 10 o'clock, we stop and get a Snickers bar. Gets us back, gets our mind back on our work.
Packed with fresh peanuts, peanut butter nougat, caramel, and milk chocolate.
Satisfies you.
Packed with peanuts, Snickers really satisfies.
Every time you take a bite, you get a bunch of peanuts in it. The taste is good, and it's a fulfilling snack.
Last year, car makers spent a record $1 billion in advertising just to tell you how wonderful their cars are. Fortunately, there's a more objective opinion: car owners. According to a recent survey of all cars in America, import or domestic, Subaru ranks second only to Mercedes in customer satisfaction. And that's the kind of advertising money can't buy.
See your Merced, Fresno, Visalia, or Porterville Subaru dealer today.
The biggest Fresno State lead, 15-6, 9 points. Now the Bulldogs lead by a 21-14 count over UNLV. And there is timeout, the mascot of Fresno State.
If you ever wanted college basketball atmosphere in red, come to Selland Arena. You'll get all you want.
Mitch Arnold has been in a shooting slump the last 4 games. Mitch is only 1 out of 5 from the floor so far today. The Dogs have been led by Kuipers with 11 points and 4 rebounds, and by Barnes 6 points and 7 rebounds. 21-14 lead. Barnes, wild shot by Barnes, chased down by Mitch Arnold, but it comes right over to Freddie Banks.
Wisely, he comes back, sets up the offense. Yeah, he didn't have the fast break.
Fresno State in the zone. Over to Spoon James. Anthony Jones over to Gilliam. Gilliam puts it up, misses the foul against Scott Barnes. Scott Barnes commits the personal. That'll be the 4th team foul against, 5th team foul against Fresno State. The last time Gilliam was at the line, he missed both of them. Yost Kuipers back into the Fresno State lineup. Going out, Mark Gustin. This is the strongman for UNLV. A transfer from Independence Junior College in Kansas. They call him the Hammer. He's 0 for 3 now at the foul line.
Do they call it maybe the Hammer because of his free throw shooting touch so far? That one actually was fairly soft. That one's in.
21-15. Fresno State. Mitch Arnold being bothered by Anthony Jones. And the foul is on Jones. That'll be the 7th team foul, and it'll be 1-1 for the rest of this half for Fresno State. 2:53 left. Mitch Arnold is a good free throw shooter, 86% at the line. So the Bulldogs, leading 21-15, will have Arnold at the line to see if he can pad that margin. Mitch Arnold was a senior last year. They got another year of eligibility for him because he had played only 3 games for the University of Illinois some 5 years ago. So actually, Mitch Arnold is a walk-on. He is not on scholarship. 23-15. The reason for that is when he made his decision that he wasn't going to go into the NBA draft, although he was drafted by the Golden State Warriors, he had a change in mind and came back and all the scholarships were used. So Arnold is paying his own way. Spoon James. 23-15 Fresno. Pass to Gilliam underneath. Blocked nicely by Salone. Foul we've called against Brian Salone. His 2nd.
This is what Las Vegas is trying to do. Wear him down inside. A good little pass in there to Gilliam. That set it all up. The only way you're going to stop him at that point was to make the foul. But it was pretty good passing by UNLV, and it's obvious they think they can get that after a few passes, 1 inside.
He's having all sorts of trouble at the line. 1 for 5 free throwing. Armin Gilliam. Crowd trying to distract him. Not on that one. 23-16 Fresno. Means and Banks right near the midcourt line. Means is just a freshman, seeing a lot of playing time here in the first half. Kuipers across to Brian Salone.
Pretty good little zone defense by UNLV. They're playing it hard.
Spoon James and Kuipers are having quite a battle. Mitch Arnold. James with it. Freddie Banks. Still a 23-16 lead.
That's where
Banks makes it 23-18.
You know, everyone says, oh, he's the point guard and he's going to set up the offense, but that guy can really hit that jump shot. If you don't pick him up out there, he'll hurt you. Banks
with 4 points. We get a foul away from play called on Gilliam. Armin Gilliam.
It was getting pretty rough under there.
And the officials, Chuck Camuso, Al Hackney, and Clarence Hammond, trying to keep order out there. Jerry Tarkadian up. Next to him, the 2 assistant coaches, Bob Kloppenberg and Tim Gergerich of UNLV.
Those coaches have been up most of the first half. They've been up more than they've been down.
At the free throw line will be Fred Emerson. Emerson hasn't been there much this season, but he has made 5 out of 6, 83%. Oh, look at that, would you?
Is in all the way.
Talk about your roulette shots. Oh, my.
I can't recall seeing a free throw like that.
Nor can I. 1. Look at that spin. Started to come out. Round and round she goes, and where she stops. Here's Emerson again, and we're going to get a violation, a lane violation.
Yeah, I think they're going to call it on Jost Kuipers going in there too soon. As far as I'm concerned, in college basketball, you can almost call that violation every time a guy shoots a free throw. Those guys are dashing in there to get in the lane.
24-18, Fresno State. And in many ways, this game resembles the contest last year here in Fresno between these two teams.
Which was won by Fresno State by 25 points.
There's Richie Adams. He really poured that one in. 24-20, 4 points for Richie Adams. Kuipers, 5-second count. He was closely guarded by Spoon James. He didn't do anything with the ball. Out of bounds to UNLV. We have 67 seconds left in the first half. Fresno sets up in a 2-3 zone. Now it looks like a 3-2 with Kuipers in the middle, flanked by Arnold on one side and Strain on the other.
Yeah, and they're packing it in pretty well, too. There it is.
The alley-oop, Richie Adams.
That's what happens when you're standing in a zone like that. The offense can move on you, and you're not ready for it, and that's what happened there. That was a brilliant play. Nice pass.
Fresno State had a 9-point lead at one time. That melted. Then an 8-point lead, and now the UNLV Rebels are only 2 down at 24-22.
Crowd would love it if they'd score here to end the half.
Cuts last by Banks. He was trying to get a breakaway.
Should run it down to about 5 seconds when they take the shot.
Think they'd go for the three-pointer?
Kuipers would if he got it.
Kuipers is down low. There's Kuipers. It's only a 2-point attempt. And it's taken down by Gilliam over to Freddie Banks. Couldn't get the shot away. He got it away, but it was after the buzzer. At halftime from Fresno State, the Bulldogs lead UNLV 24-22. We'll be back in just a moment, but first, these messages from our local stations.
Gonna party like before. It's the fancies once more. Gonna stroll across the floor.
Well, turn it loose with the silver bullet. Find it, grab it, pull it. Rock and roll with a cold Coors Light.
Papers heavy, the weight is mine.
Silver bullet won't slow you down.
Keep it light, party like.
Well, turn it loose with the silver bullet tonight.
Coors Light Beer.
Your Go Olds dealers announce a special sale on the Computer Perfect 85 California Calais. Built for Northern Californians by Space Age Robotics, the Calais is perfection at amazing savings. And now we've added $425 worth of extras at no charge. Special high-gloss paint, Tornado interior, body side moldings, dual mirrors, custom wheels, and accent stripes. The Computer Perfect California Calais at a special sale price is at your Go Olds dealer today.
UNLV, since they have been in the PCAA conference, have really dominated league play. Coming into this game, UNLV has a conference record now of 41-3. Only 3 teams have beaten them: Fresno State, UC Irvine, and Fullerton.
That's quite impressive. Of course, one of the losses was, as you mentioned, this game right here a year ago when Fresno State won by 25. They also lost to Fresno in the finals of the PCA tournament. That was a 1-point game. Fans up here in Fresno well aware of what's happened here, and that's why they're out in great numbers today. capacity 10,132. They expanded the Selland Arena, and they lead the state of California in attendance at the university level in basketball.
We'll be back with more PCAA basketball from Cat Sports, following these messages from our local stations.
What do you want to start your day? When you want it bad, you want it right away. AM/PM's got coffee in a new jumbo-sized cup. It's a big 20-ouncer. It'll perk you up. It's the Jumbo Java fresh from the pot at 39 cents. It doesn't cost a lot, so if you want it now, you want it hot. Remember, AM/PM is the spot. You want it, we got it. AM/PM Mini Markets.
Now there's a new name in long-distance telephone service. Call America. With Call America, you can call anywhere in the continental United States. With Call America, you can depend upon clear connections, and you'll save up to 60% on every call. Contact Call America now, and an account executive will show you how to save on your long-distance service. Join the best. Call America.
Off the school's second consecutive 25-game win streak. How does he feel about what makes a good coach?
Well, I think to be a good coach, you have to be a good teacher. I think that's the biggest thing in coaching, is being able to teach the fundamentals. I don't think coaching basketball is any different than teaching a math class. You have to know what you're doing. You have to have a knowledge of the subject, and you have to be good at explanation and be able to get that across to your kids by drilling every day. Repetition, until they really understand exactly what you want. I really didn't set any goals in, we have in the past, in going to the NCAA and winning a game in the NCAA and those type of things, but I really didn't set goals with this team. I think being a young team like we are, the goal that we have is to reach a point that we really feel satisfied with the way we're playing, and we feel that we are reaching our potential. Well, I think we have to come quite a ways from where we are right now, okay? But I'm not saying that we couldn't, because I've never said never in my whole life. And you never know what's going to happen during the year. You know, someone could have the flu or not be there for another team that could hurt their chances of winning it. So, and this is a team I think can get better. So maybe we'll have a chance at the end, yes.
But what else helps make a winning Fresno State tradition?
Well, first you have to have good athletes. But the other thing at Fresno State is that I've had excellent assistants, and we have tremendous community support. And without tremendous community support, sometimes it's very, very difficult to get that enthusiasm to be able to win that many games. You know, the Red Wave is an organization that they support us with donations to the athletic program, but they also, while I've been there, they've supported us on the road with as high as 5,000 at another school's gymnasium. So they're a group of people that they follow us. They let us know we're behind. They let us know that they're behind us, and they do this in every way. And let me say this, and I hope this would not sound like that this was an ego thing, but at Fresno State, for instance, I think that a lot of the things that we have done has been because of coaching and teaching. We have not relied on great talent. And I don't want to make that sound like, oh, there's a guy who really thinks he's a great coach, because that's not what I mean. It's just that we knew we had an extra price that we had to pay that someone else may